What up, y'all? It's the Kid Ríez, and today we're gonna be doing a deep dive into the brand new Kendrick Lamar album, GNX. I'm gonna be going song by song, explaining some of the meanings of it, also highlighting some of the producers and his frequent collaborators. Now, most of this is left up to interpretation. This is just my view of what I feel like the album is about. So let's get into it. So Kendrick Lamar just dropped a brand new album called GNX. GNX is named after the Buick GNX that came out in 1987. One of the cars that Kendrick wanted growing up. This project sounds very 80s inspired, almost like an ode to LA. And I'm assuming if you grew up in LA around those times, this is probably what you saw driving around. Also with some of the samples that he used and some of the topics that he chose to talk about. In my opinion, Kendrick is doing a lot of channeling and reminiscing on his album. He's always been an artist to not shy away from the fact that he's just a medium and spirits talk through him. Whether you believe in that stuff or not, it doesn't matter. He's an artist that chooses to express himself that way, and in my opinion, that's totally fine. Most of the production on this album is handled by Soundwave and frequent Taylor Swift producer Jack Antonoff. Can't forget producers like Cardo Got Wings, DJ Dahi, Mustard, Matthew M. Bernard, Terrence Martin, Scott Bridgeway, Tim Maxey, Deets, and others. And if I forgot your name, I apologize. So the first song we're gonna get into is Whacked Out Murals, and it samples Friends by Houdini. The song starts out with a singer named Dara Barrera. She's a mariachi singer from LA that Kendrick met at a Dodgers game. He loved her singing so much that he invited her to be on the brand new album. Now you see how life works? She was just doing her job at a Dodgers game, and 3 weeks later she's on a Kendrick Lamar album. So the song starts out with her saying a phrase in Spanish, and when translated, it translates to, "I feel your presence here last night," and we start to cry. And then here comes Kendrick basically saying forget everybody in the game. And I'm saying forget, but you know what I mean. He also takes the time to address some of the rumors and things that were happening leading up to this moment, such as the Snoop Dogg incident and the Lil Wayne incident. So in the song, Kendrick raps, "Used to bump the car to 3, I held my rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my heart worked like Lil Wayne down. Whatever though, call me crazy, everybody questionable. Turned me to an Eskimo, I drew the line in decimals. Snoop posted Taylor made, I prayed it was the edibles." So essentially this is Kendrick Lamar responding to the Lil Wayne comment that he made when he did not get picked for the Super Bowl. Now, of course, it was already set in stone about who was going to perform at the Super Bowl. I don't think it had anything to do with politics or like that. But I think Kendrick was also caught off guard by the video because as someone who's been a fan of Lil Wayne for his entire career, for Wayne to come out and not congratulate him but complain about the selection, it might have stung Kendrick a little bit. Now, of course, Lil Wayne heard this verse and he decided to respond with a tweet by saying, "Man, what I do, I just be chilling and they come for my head. Let's not take my kindness for weakness. Let this giant sleep, I beg you all. No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy if disturbed on me. Love." Now, to be honest, I feel like Lil Wayne maybe is taking this the wrong way, but that would be crazy if we got a Lil Wayne versus Kendrick Lamar battle. Not to mention that Drake is Lil Wayne's man and you know Young Money and blase blah. So I think it's safe to say that Whacked Out Murals is essentially Kendrick Lamar standing on business. Now other than Pusha T and Nas, I haven't really seen too many rappers reaching out, which makes Kendrick feel like, all right, so it's me against y'all. And right now Kendrick is the top dog in hip hop, so it's interesting to see how the rest of this year unfolds. All right, so the next song on this album is called Squabble Up.
Teach a man how to squabble.
Now, Squabble Up is a song that we heard at the beginning of the Not Like Us video, and I'm not gonna lie, it definitely lives up to the hype. So it seems like Kendrick is referencing the 80s a lot, and I'm assuming that's where he's drawing a lot of his inspiration from for this album. So on this song, he raps, "I got hits, I got butts, I got new paper cuts, I got friends, I got foes, but they all sitting ducks. Hit his turf, get it crack and double back like a deluxe." And honestly, this just feels like a song where Kendrick is just embracing his life. You know, a lot of the stuff that he's been putting out recently has a Bay Area feel, and you can see the connection there. I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard it, I was in the whip and I was riding home and I had the this face, you feel me? I had the, you feel me? So the next song up on the album is called Luther, a song that features recording artist SZA and samples Miss Cheryl Lynn, If This World Were Mine, featuring the legendary Luther Vandross, hence the title, Luther. So this song right here is definitely R&B inspired. I'm not gonna lie, I like Kendrick with the melodies. I like Kendrick when he act tough too, but I also like Kendrick with the melodies. Him and SZA are great collaborators together. They always make bangers, so anytime both of them in the studio, you know you're gonna get magic. In this song, Kendrick raps, hey, Roman numeral 7, baby, drop it like it's hot. If this world was mine, I'd take your dreams and make them multiply. If this world was mine, I'd take your enemies in front of God. Introduce them to that light, hit them strictly with that fire. Fire, 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 fire. So yeah, definitely one of the best tracks on this album. You know, with the way people have been sampling so much lately, I'm glad that they took this sample and did it justice. Nowadays, you hear a lot of lazy sampling where they'll just kind of take the most important parts of the beat and just make that the focal point. But with this, you could tell that they actually produced it thoroughly and made it so where it wasn't really focusing on the sample too much. It was really the collaboration between SZA and Kendrick with the way they were kind of flowing off each other with the melodies that made this track definitely one of the best on this album. And you know he gonna give you the banger for the females like always. All right, next on the list is a song called Man at the Garden. Now, Man at the Garden can be a nod to the Garden of Eden and returning back to God after being cast out. I don't know, Kendrick has never really shied away from spirituality in his records, but when I listen to it, that's the first thing that I initially thought of. Now on this record, we're back to the more introspective Kendrick, and on this song he raps, VVS's white diamonds, GNX with the seat back reclining, I deserve it all. Put my homes on the beachfront, flying private, what you eat for lunch, I deserve it all. The respect and the accolades, lamping on the island watching Castaway, I deserve it all. For every good nigga that passed away, sent 2.5 million on the average day, I deserve it all. Now, even though it doesn't directly sample Nas's One Mic, there is an interpolation of the record. And when I first heard the record, that's what I initially thought of. Like, wow, is Kendrick in his Stillmatic bag? Because it sounds like One Mic. And One Mic is one of my favorite records from Nas, especially coming off that Stillmatic album with him and Jay-Z's famous beef. You know, for Kendrick to interpolate that record on this album, is this Kendrick Stillmatic? Is this his Machiavelli? Now, considering what Kendrick's been through in his life, it sounds like he's finally done with survivor's guilt and starting to embrace the life that he's built for himself. If you listen to a lot of his older stuff, you could tell that him making it out and a lot of his homies didn't kind of affected him in a way. But on this album, he's embracing his status as being the quote-unquote Boogie Man of hip-hop and also the king of hip-hop, and he's also embracing everything that comes with it. So it's kind of therapeutic knowing that he's taking his power back and not really feeling like a victim in a situation, but feeling like, you know what? No, I actually do deserve this spot that I'm at, and I worked damn hard to get here. All right, so the next song we got on this album is called Hey Now, and it's featuring LA artist Dodie 6. Now, a lot of people was complaining that Kendrick brought a lot of artists to the Pop Out concert, but he never put them on his albums. Well, for everybody that was complaining about that, here you go. Here we got Kendrick showing love to the city and letting the homie get off, and that's very dope. Now, there's no samples on this song, but it does have an interpolation of Scotty by D4L. Kendrick stays showing love to Atlanta, and once again, it's that Bay Area and Atlanta connection. So on this song, he raps, we got the same 24, what you mad for? I put a square on his back like I'm Jack Dorsey. It's high beams if I make a public appearance. Go back to hiding, cause I'm not too friendly with 1002, 1004. The black no, I just strangled me a goat. Now that strangle me a goat line was definitely a shot at Drake, who constantly refers to himself as the GOAT in a lot of his songs. Now, is he trying to spark the beef back up? I don't know. I don't want to put that out into the universe, but it is one GOAT acknowledging another GOAT. So, you know, maybe this is a sign of, you know, Kendrick acknowledging Drake's place in hip hop. But as you can see, he said, hey man, I just caught a body. I just strangled me a goat. And we all know who he talking about. Overall, a very dope record, and it leads into another record, which is probably one of, if not the best songs on this album. All right, so Reincarnated, the song that everybody is buzzing about. So off the rip, you can hear the Tupac influence. I ain't gonna lie, when them drums came in, I was like, dawg, we listened to an old Outlaws project, but actually this song samples made by Tupac and the Outlaws. So if you're wondering why it sounds the same, that's why. So doubling back to the whole channeling spirits thing, this is Kendrick again channeling, I would say, a few spirits in this song. I would say Tupac and a guitarist by the name of John Lee Hooker. So in the beginning of the song, you hear a woman speaking in Spanish, and she's saying, that reflects in your eyes the night you and me So in this song, he speaks about his spiritual growth that he's been having over the last couple of years. He's a different man from the Damn era, and you can tell by the way that he raps in his verse. He then goes on to say, gifted as a musician, I play guitar on the grand level. The most talented where I'm from, but I had to rebel. And so I'm off in the sunset, searching for my place in the world with my guitar on my hip. That's the story unfurled. I found myself with a pocket full of money and a whole lot of respect. Why the record business love me? I was head of rhythm and blues. The women that fell to their feet, so many to choose. But I manipulated power as I lied to the masses. Died with my money, gluttony was too attractive. Reincarnated. Now this could be a reference to John Lee Hooker, a guitarist who went by different names to avoid being taken advantage of by record labels back in the day. And you want to know what one of his most notable nicknames was? The Boogie Man, a nickname that Kendrick Lamar has been known to go by. Now the last verse on this song is probably my favorite. It sounds like it's him reconciling with God, the Father, after being kicked out for being too cocky. It's essentially the story of Lucifer, who was kicked out of heaven for trying to rebel against the Father. But in this story, it sounds like Kendrick is rewriting it. What if Lucifer made his way back and reconciled with God? It's an interesting concept and one that honestly should get a video on its own, because I'll be sitting here breaking this song down forever. All right, so the next song up is called TV Off. And I'm pretty sure if you've been online the last 48 hours, you've seen the memes. Alright, so this song right here features a West Coast artist called Lefty Gunplay. And again, this is Kendrick showing love to the city, putting the homies on. And it's not saying that any of the artists on this project needed to be put on, but it is dope seeing him reach back in the community and put people in positions where they can be seen by new fans and grow as artists. Also, whoever it was that ended up linking Kendrick and Mustard, thank you. Thank you for getting these two dudes together and putting out some of the best music that we've heard in a while. Of course, you know, not like us, you know, doesn't need to be explained, but Mustard and Kendrick, when they collab, they be in their bag. So on this one, he raps, crash pulling up in Armand truck just to play freeze tag with a bone to pit like it was sea bass. So when I made it out, I made about 50K from a show, trying to show niggas the ropes before they hung from a rope. I'm prophetic, they only talk about how I get it. Only good for saving face, seen the cosmetics. How many heads I gotta take to level my aesthetics? Hurry up and get your muscle up, we out the pilometric. Nicarana by the lux as soon as the high metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. Now that diabetic line was crazy, and of course trying to keep up with his cadence and his flow is a struggle in itself, but you get the point. All right, so the next song on this project is called Dodger Blue, and this is more of a relaxed song than TV On. This is also featuring Roddy Ricch, Wiley the Sensei, and Siete 7 times. Hopefully I'm saying that right, but again, this feels like an ode to LA, where he's reaching back to the community and putting a lot of the homies in position to be heard by new fans. Now, we all know Roddy Ricch. We don't have to say much about Roddy Ricch. It's not like he needs to be put in front of new fans, but like I said, it is dope to see them collabing. Now, this is just a dope, vibey song. Kind of feels like an interlude that you can just ride to. And considering that the Dodgers just won the World Series, this feels like a salute to them, and like you said, just the ode to LA. Now, I will say this song doesn't sample Computer Love, but it sounds like it takes inspiration from it just a little bit. Sounds like a record you put on in that 5.0 thing and peel out. But like I said, overall, a vibe. I rock with it. Next on the list, we got a song called Peekaboo. Now, this is another LA style banger featuring LA artists. Hopefully I'm saying this right. AZ Cheek or AZ Chite. But on this song, Kendrick raps, pull off in a lamb, double park at all the times. Mr. Get off on your mans. If he hating disrespect, you better follow up with hands. Losses to the neck, but now I'm trophied up, I'm saying, like beam, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. The type of shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand. All right, so next song on the project is called Heart Part 6. Not The Heart Part 6, but Heart Part 6. Now, if you know anything about Kendrick Lamar, you know that he has been releasing the Heart series freestyles since 2010. And as you know, as of recently with the whole Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, Drake came out with his own version of the Heart Part 6 that did not land well with the fans. That boy got fried for dropping that diss. Now, the song samples Use Your Heart by SWV. All my 90s kids, I know when you heard it, you probably was like, oh yeah, it's on. But again, this song is very, very hip-hop, because I love when artists get in their storytelling bag. Another part of this record is that Kendrick also revealed that he's the reason that there's no new Black Hippie album, because he's more focused on him Then the group, he raps, I guess my motivation was the yearning for independence. Poured everything I had left in the family business. Now it's about Kendrick. I want to evolve, place my skill set as a black eject. I jog my memory knowing Black Hippie didn't work cause of me. Creatively, I moved on with new concepts and reach. See, records like this are timeless because when you reach a certain point of success, you're able to look back and see just how far you came. And you know, I remember finding out about Kendrick Lamar back in 2010 from a producer that I was working with. And he was telling me, yo, you gotta listen to this dude, Kendrick, and this Black Hippie crew. Like, they really putting on. And just to see how far they came, and you know, this record right here seems like a reflection moment for him. I think it's very dope to still show love to his brothers. And the fact that they all still tight. They didn't let money come between them or nothing like that. Him, TDE, everybody's still cool. Everybody's still a tight-knit group. So, you know, I really love this record, man. I love the way it was sampled. Again, it was not sampled in a cheesy way. Yes, they did use most of the original beat when it was sampled, but I like how they added the drums and had like the 808 riffs going in the background. So overall, man, just an awesome way to reclaim the Heart series. All right, next song on the project is called GNX, which is essentially the title track from the album. Now, this is another song where Kendrick shows love to a lot of LA artists. It's featuring LA artists Peso, Hitta J3, and Young Thread. Honestly, he let all of them really just take the shine on this project. Other than a few lines here and there, Kendrick kept it real short. Fun fact though, Kendrick was actually sent this beat 2 days ago from the producer Rascal. He was telling them basically like, dog, I need one more just hard LA track. And this was the track he sent. Ain't it crazy how stuff come together? Like, as a producer, you just sitting in your room or you sitting in the studio and Kendrick Lamar texts you like, I need a song for this album. But as the title track for this project and leading into the final song for this project, I think it fits well with the theme of the entire project, which is essentially LA versus everybody. And the final song on this project, which is called Gloria. Now, this song starts off with the woman speaking in Spanish, and it translates to sitting, Anita, and you. Now, I'm assuming it's Kendrick sitting in his GNX car listening to Anita Baker like he alluded to earlier in this album. And the song also features SZA, which is a frequent collaborator, Kendrick Lamar. And honestly, we need an album from them. Now, on this song, Kendrick raps about a woman, his wife, somebody else, or so we think. Remember when you caught that body and still wiggled through that sentence? Love you more when you flip and lose shit. I hugged you more. It's sexy to me. Cuss they ass out and hold that grudge some more. Damn, I know your favorite movie is it Notebook. So good. If they all suck me, get them all booked. My baby boo, you either healed or you killed. Both is true. It takes some tough skin just to deal with you. Logical explanation don't exist. Flipping pages, chapter after chapter. Probably remarry and head to Vegas. Just getting marked out. They can't erase our history. Their margins ain't big enough. They all led to bigotry. My woman in my right hand, my saint and my sin. Ain't no like my, cause that been my pen. So yes, the girl that he's rapping about in this song is actually his pen. Hip-hop, the culture that gave him so much to be thankful for. Now again, this is just the art of storytelling, y'all. This is hip-hop at its purest form. Now, I was fooled because the whole time I thought he was talking about Whitney. Like, off top, I was like, oh, this is a very dope song. He's you know, giving it up to his woman. And he still could be, because with Kendrick, his verses, they have these layers where 1 minute he might be talking about something else and then he'll switch and be referring to something else. So he could be talking about Whitney. Also, the name Gloria, which means glory in Spanish, is kind of representative of his current state in rap. Like, he's reached this point in hip hop where he has all the glory. He's the top dog in the game. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my analysis of Kendrick Lamar's brand new album, GNX. Make sure y'all go stream that. Make sure y'all go check it out. Throw your headphones on. You can listen to it from front to back. You really don't need to skip. If you're from LA, I know you loving it. If you're from the Bay Area, I know you loving it. Shout out to the Bay Area once again. I'm from Atlanta. I'm loving it. I love hip hop. This is the reason why I do videos like this. And I also love regional hip hop. I miss the days when the West Coast sounded like the West Coast, Midwest like the Midwest, New York was New York, and the South was the South. And to be honest, I feel like it's getting back to that. You know, I don't feel like LA ever left their sound. Like LA artists always sounded like LA artists. They always kept their sound. And it's dope to be able to listen to that, or listen to a New York record, or listen to somebody from Florida, listen to how they speak and their dialect and how they produce. So yeah, man. Shout out to everybody for checking out the videos. The Kid Ríez. Make sure y'all stay carefree, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend or week or whenever you see this video. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace.